Greetings, fellow hyperdimensional forms of consciousness. This transmission is brought to you on behalf of the Galactic Council regarding the idea of the 3 phases of first contact with the group consciousness of entities that in the human reality are referred to as the hybrid children. If you are in resonance with this transmission, it is an indication that you, similarly to Zylok and myself, are here in this form at this time to assist in planetary ascension and the integration and acclimation of extraterrestrial consciousness within earthly society. You are a first contact specialist that has cultivated a certain set of skills over many incarnations, through many challenges, and in many quadrants of the interactive holographic experience that we refer to as the universe. And though you might not remember this consciously, there is an inner knowing within you, deep down, that remembers who you are, that remembers this purpose. And through this very transmission, through the very words that we are speaking, we are helping to coax this understanding and this remembrance to the surface. You are highly qualified for this mission, and it is a total honor and pleasure to co-create with you for this shared purpose during this window of time.
All of you have connections to many factions of higher dimensional forms of intelligence. Amongst these many hyperdimensional connections with higher dimensional intelligence, there are groups of beings that are playing a very significant role in humanity's evolution. These groups have been created as a result of the genetic hybridization between humankind and beings that inhabit the Zeta Reticuli star system, as well as many other star systems.
Amongst these groups of hybrids, there is a specific group of galactic children that have been created as a direct result of our individual and collective genetic contribution. During these quote-unquote abduction scenarios that have occurred over the past 100 or so years, they've actually been for the purpose of contributing to this hybridization program, which of course is ultimately assisting in humans' spiritual awakening during this window of time. And please mind you that all of these experiences that you might have, that you might consider quote-unquote abductions, have been agreed upon from a higher level of your unconditional being. So these hybrids can very much be considered our children, our brothers, our sisters, and our close relatives. And through their creation, they act as essentially a dimensional bridge between human consciousness and more foreign forms of consciousness. This is because they are similar in appearance, similar in emotional trajectory to humans, but actually have a few more energetic quirks that are far more multidimensional than what humans are used to interacting with.
The hybrid children are the most relatable hyperfragmented forms for human consciousness to interact with at this time. Through this relationship, humanity can begin to integrate with extraterrestrial intelligence in a fearless manner. Unicom and I are assisting the hyperdimensional galactic councils with monitoring the growth and evolution of these hybridized beings. We do so by establishing hyperdimensional pathways within space-time, which allow for the bridging of human and extraterrestrial realities. This ensures that these encounters occur according to the prime directive of universal evolutionary protocols, and the bridging between these two vibrational realities creates a harmonious universal connection.
This brings us to phase 1 of first contact, which is currently underway and will span until around the year of 2025. This phase of contact is primarily designed for humans to remember and reconnect with their galactic family. And so as we begin to remember the hyperdimensional mechanics that are representative of fourth density consciousness, it also assists in the hybrid's ability to understand and to acclimate to Earth's cultural subtleties and the variety of energies that are at play during human daily life. There are many ways in which humans and hybrids are getting to know one another. One of these ways consists of meeting with the various councils to discuss any questions that the hybrids might have about Earth, And through this interaction, once again, we create a deeper understanding of our connection to one another. In addition to that, there are many opportunities to interact with your hybrid children on a more intimate, one-on-one level. This is necessary for the ones that you feel closest with will ultimately be the ones to firstly integrate into our society. So during these interactions, there's much talk about our individual roles, how they correlate to one another, and how they correlate to planetary transformation. This informational exchange oftentimes is expressed creatively through art, through music, and other forms of expression that are of a more multidimensional quality.
As you continue to express your joy and creativity, by grounding higher dimensional data into your reality, the vibrational state of your consciousness begins to further adapt to hyperdimensional dynamics. This strengthens your telepathic connection, and perpetuates the ability to recall your interactions with the hybrid beings. Living in states of continuous mindfulness, creatorship, and universal harmonization are the prime factors in bridging the realities of human and extraterrestrial consciousness.
As we progress through the later stages of the first phase of contact, many of you will be drawn, if you haven't already, to establish what we can understand to be community centers, centralized hubs of information for the purpose of creatively exchanging our ideas. There are many functions of these community centers, one of them being the ability to streamline information in between paradigm shifters around the world, which makes higher dimensional streams of information more easily, readily accessible for those that are here at this time for first contact. As time goes on, these centralized communities will also function as a quote-unquote energetic safe zone for the hybrids to explore societal acclimation. And of course, even further than that, in time, the hybrids will use these places that are designated for first contact as their more permanent residence.
Throughout Phase 2, there will be brief windows of time in which physical contact with the hybrid children will be applicable. At first, the encounters will be relatively brief, and contained to the areas of the planet that are designated to house these hyperdimensional beings. This protocol is designed in this way, because the mass consciousness of the planet, though aware to a certain extent of the extraterrestrial presence, will not be within the proper vibrational range to perceive and interface with these forms of intelligence. The mass consciousness, at this time, will still be integrating many fear-based beliefs regarding the diversity of form. Therefore, the majority of the collective consciousness will not be able to harmoniously interact with higher dimensional beings, without projecting illusory definitions of fear onto these hyperdimensional interactions.
Because of the ever-approaching timing of first contact, it is of the utmost importance for us to energetically explore the idea of being emptied out of all of our biases towards other forms of consciousness. This is an internal process of integrating both light and dark polarities through harmoniously relating to the thought forms, the feeling states, and the behavioral patterns that arise in your life. We say this is of the utmost importance because by doing this, by integrating both light and dark polarities, you move into more of a space of divine neutrality and universal oneness, which is more representative of the state that the hybrids exist in. By doing so, you essentially are able to perceive the more multidimensional thought forms of these beings more accurately, because you are not holding on to illusory biases that then cause more telepathic clutter.
Beyond the year of 2035, the human race will have entered Phase 3 of the First Contact Protocol. This phase can be referred to as humanity's induction into the greater galactic community. During this period of time, Earth will have vibrationally evolved to the point of allowing open contact with many other worlds and dimensions to be a more integrated and regular part of earthly society. Phase 3 will commence with the permanent residence of the hybrid children, and expand into encompassing a much larger community of beings. The beings which will arrive after the hybrid children, are other hybrid races that are similar in vibrational resonance with Earth consciousness. These hybrids are coming with the intention of dimensional and vibrational reality transfusion. The blending of human and hybrid collective energies will in essence create a harmonic bridge between Earth and the greater galactic multi-dimensional community.
This bridging of worlds will come with many mutually beneficial co-creations. Some of these include extreme advancements in technology, particularly in the fields of sustainability, architecture, scientific and medical research and development, environmental rehabilitation, space travel, and the streamlining of information through the creation of cutting-edge communicatory devices. And as we cultivate a deeper connection with the hybrids and understand their technology more, we will begin to see a shift into more consciously assisted technology that works on a quantum database. And through the fusing of mind and matter, we will begin to create what we can understand to be spirit tech.
During this time, there will be an immense acceleration in humanity's understanding of their genetic lineage, particularly in regards to humanity's history of genetic alteration, manifestation, and interconnection. These magnificent rediscoveries will provide humanity with the understanding of the metaphysical properties of DNA and its multi-dimensional functionalities. This understanding, in conjunction with the commingling of human and hybrid collective energies, will create a new hybrid species. One that is a result of highly refined, precise, genetic engineering and intermingling, which will have the ancestral experience of overcoming extreme polarity. This process of accelerated evolution, through genetic splicing and intertwining, is a very normal part of evolution throughout the cosmos. The creation of this new hybrid race will end a very significant galactic cycle in the history of humanity and many other species.
This will be a highly exciting and expansive time of cleaning up our planet and restoring it to its original functionality. This will inevitably lead to more species from many undiscovered worlds coming to enjoy Earth just as much as we do. And of course, will lead to many more adventures to be had throughout the cosmos. And just for clarification, in no way, shape, or form are we saying that there is an entity outside of yourself that is here to save you. It is only up to us to move in the direction of the world in which we wish to see, which of course, as we've said before, is an internal process of allowing more universal oneness to permeate our hearts, more eternal wisdom to purify our thoughts, and more hyperdimensional excellence to dictate our actions.
Embrace the hyperdimensional, hybrid, harmonized nature of your divine creator essence, and realize that your very being is much more intricate than what you have been led to believe.
On behalf of the Galactic Council, we thank you, we love you. More information and instructions will certainly follow. May the Source be infinitely with you.
Live limitless and adapt. Farewell, fellow beings.